Terminology in business. A principle can be defined as a fundamental statement or truth providing a guide to thought or action. There are certain principles of management that are reasonably well established, accepted, and used. They cover many facets of management. However, there are unknown and managerial areas for which no management principles have been established. Knowledge of a principle is helpful, but skill in its application is equally important. Principles of management contribute tremendously toward the development of a nucleus around which greater and understanding, successful application, and future progress of management can be built. Principles are guides. They assist in the comprehension and application of management. They are to be used carefully and discreetly. The word organization has been used to transmit a variety of meanings by various authors. One author defines organization in the broad sense of a collection of persons working together. Another equally known author employs the word organization to indicate a group of individuals who are cooperating willingly and effectively for a common end. There are two schools of thought regarding the conception of organization. One which emphasizes the process rather than the relationship between the various factors within an organization. The other school of thought emphasizes the connection between the functions and factors, and within that relationship, the process takes place as desired. No single plan could be applied indiscriminately in every situation. Each organization is a distinct problem in itself. There are multitude of factors bearing on the making of decisions. The building of an effective organization requires the use of sound business judgment. Considerations should be taken into account in developing any organization. First, there should be a clear and complete statement of the objective. What is the aim of the enterprise? What is the enterprise to accomplish? These are considerations which must be answered in any organizing effort. As a business grows, there is an ever-increasing amount of work and ever-increasing complexity of functions required to carry on the business. Objectives will diversity or increase in number. Second, there should be a thorough analysis of the entire proposition surrounding the business. There should be a thorough analysis of the entire position surrounding the business. The result of such give a fair approximation of the ultimate chances of success and of the magnitude of the problems involved. It is an improvement over the old practice of basic action or decision on the experiences of the past or on what other businesses have done. Third, the necessary functions should be determined. Organization building is the process of determining which functions are considered most important and which groups perform the major operations of an enterprise. The scope of work and the duties pertaining to each department should be clearly defined, as well as the proper setup of divisions and subdivisions. Fourth, the man best fitted for the work and to head or division should be selected. The success of any enterprises will depend largely on the ability and skill of the executives who will run it. The men selected should be given sufficient authority to operate their own department or division without interference. They must be imbued with the willingness to work together efficiently and cooperatively to a common end. Underlying principle of organization. The foregoing considerations are considered on the basis of underlying principles in as much as each business has condition peculiar to itself. A set of rules cannot of course be laid that would be applicable to the organization of all enterprise. However, certain underlying principles can be given. Among them are: number 1, Principle of objective. In starting any business enterprise or in the carrying on of any activity by the concern as a whole or by any of its unit, a clear and complete definition of the objective is a prerequisite. Second, the principle of analysis. Analysis is the act of breaking up a whole into its part so as to find out their nature, qualities, importance, etc. The entire problem should be analyzed so that all the attendant elements could be known and segregated and to assign to each element its relative weight. Third, the principle of simplicity. All activities which are not absolutely necessary should be eliminated, and those retained should be handled in the simplest practical way, based on paramount necessity. The correlated principle simply means that no executive position should be created or filled unless the business will suffer or make less progress without it. Fourth, the principle of functionalization. The organization should be built around the main functions of the business and not around the individuals. A function is a normal or a characteristic way of doing a task which stand out by itself. In different factoring, accounting is a function different from typing or filing. Applying the principle of functionalism. First step to be done is to show each function or activity required to carry on the business and to segregate the same function or activity from the rest. The second step is the grouping together of like and complementary functions so as to form several major groups. It has logical channels for growth and development along each of the major fields of activity. In any field of business activities, adjustment can be made within the respective department without disturbing the organization or work of other departments or the general plan of the organization as a whole. The board of directors would divide themselves into working vice presidents would have over the work of their divisions, but they themselves would have many departments handling major functions under them. The company would have been organized around a central headquarters. Fifth, the principle of their departmentalization or departmentation. In big organization, the scope of operation can be very broad, thus necessitating departmentation to achieve smoother flow of operations. Means of department can be thorough functions, products, location, customer, process, or by projects of the organization. Sixth, the principle of centralization of authority and responsibility. There should be centralized control in the army and sometimes in the government. This is known as command authority. Seventh, the principle of limited span of executive control is a limiting factor in the number of organizational units under arrangements in an organization structure. Span of control means the number of subordinates an executive can manage effectively. For each business to be successful, it must be built according to certain basic principles. Limiting factors in applying principles. There are limiting factors present in the business. Company policies, available personnel, weight of opinion of influential executive, or other common factors affecting the application of principles. Organizational charts are diagram films representing the important aspects of an organization. Charts can either be main charts giving an overall view of the organizational structure or supplemental charts which are devoted to a major components or departments. An organizational manual is a supplement to the organizational chart, providing additional information on the details presented in the chart. The organization itself makes a profound difference to the nature and problems of the mean attempting to manage it. There are at least four linking strands which the diagnostician need to isolate before recommend any sensible scheme for improving any company's performance.